Hey, good morning everyone. Happy Tuesday. It's June 25th and prices of BTC are currently at 11,450. If you remember yesterday in the Bitcoin analysis channel right here, I stated this chart, the same chart right here. And I mentioned that if you were still in this trade right here, you could set your stop right at this red marker, or if you want to get out and potentially get back in for a true confirmation, you can get up above this green marker right here around 11,200 or 11,250, depending on which exchange you're on. And by the way, guys, this is just the Advantage member analysis. This will not go to anyone else. So we're going to be talking about a lot of different stuff today pertaining to trades, where we are, and just sort of understanding trading psychology. Because it seems like, there's people in the free lounge who didn't quite appreciate me selling where I did, even though I don't tell people to sell or buy. I'm just doing what I feel is necessary to preserve my capital to grow my portfolio. So today's analysis will only be for Advantage members to give you guys an understanding why I operate the way I do, why I take profits when I do without, any sort of qualms, and I don't really care what anyone thinks, because this is my money, and I feel that if there's a risk of my money being in the market at a particular time, then I'm going to sell. Okay, so with that being said, I want you guys to know that I'm always looking out for the best interest of protecting capital. All right, you guys know that is my number one rule. Being able to preserve your capital is number one, and then number two is being able to grow it. Okay, if we cannot do number one properly, then we're definitely not going to be able to do number two. So yesterday I had sold right over here on this particular candle right here, this one perfectly. Okay, and I stated that, hey, it looks like BTC is going to either push up right here, or it's going to go down much further. And I set my stop right around 10,900, and I got wicked, and that's okay. That was another possibility I even considered. I said, hey, wouldn't it be funny if I just get wicked and the price takes off without me? That's exactly what happened, and that's fine. Okay, now let me sort of explain why I set my stop where I did, and why I didn't even care if the price took off after. Okay, typically when prices are climbing with these higher lows and stuff, you want to sort of see that pattern continue and break out, right? You don't want to see this previous structure change. So what I did was I looked at the 1 hour candles, and I saw, okay, I see all these candles closing above this area. So if I just set my stop right around 11,900 to be safe, I should be fine. Okay, because I saw this price movement happening like this, and I didn't think this one would come this far in. I thought it would just come right around, say 11,950 or so, and then take off. Okay, but it went a little bit deeper. It went actually all the way down to 11,800 or so, and then took off. Okay, and also I was looking at this structure right here. Okay, I had drawn this trend line yesterday. Okay, and I saw that, okay, if price breaks below this trend line, that means the trend has at least been broken on this little shift right here. Okay, so once this trend line has been broken, that means that something has changed, at least in this structure right here. Doesn't mean that we're going to go down all the way down here. It just means that, okay, something is wrong. Prices are not able to hold up this sort of incline, right? And so again, that gave me another reason to set my stop around 11,900. Could I have set it deeper? Of course I could have. Could I have, not set a stop at all? Of course. But what I saw playing out also in, say, 2 hour, 4 hour time frames is I saw, lower highs like this over here, lower high, and then over here, sort of another lower high being created, at least when I was looking at it back here. Okay. But that didn't happen, and we took off, and that's fine. Okay. I got stopped out, price left without me. And now I stated again that if you look in this channel right here, I said, you can consider getting back in for a confirmation above this green marker, or you can set your stop at this red marker. Okay, I always provide you guys options in case you don't want to take the same sort of risk averse strategy like I do, because remember that we don't start at the same starting line. Okay, when it comes to trading as a game of a race, or however you want to look at it, because I've been doing decently well for all of 2019, and my capital has grown a lot. And sometimes I take different form of risk in trades, and sometimes I'm very protective about my capital in trades. Okay, you don't have to be the same way. If you feel that this bull pennant was playing out, and I actually know one of our members, Kiwi Simon, said he saw this bull pennant playing out, and I said, it absolutely is. Yes, you're right. But I actually saw distribution, and then I also pointed out that the RSI was a bit overextended on the 4-hour as well as the daily. So there was a lot of different reasonings that I saw, and I pointed out to give me deduction in my judgment to allow me to sell. Okay. Another reasoning that I saw was when I saw this climb right here in middle of May. Okay, this is similar. This red candle is similar to this red candle. These next couple of candles right here are similar to these couple of green candles right here. And then you see volume dropping off, right? So first volume is high, second is a bit lower, third one is a bit lower, and then boom, we see a big sell-off. Okay, I saw something very similar right here. Okay, after this red candle, volume climbs, right? This one is the highest volume candle. The next couple are just dropping off. Okay, this is, I think, especially more visible on the Coinbase exchange because the volume looks eerily similar. Let's see. Okay, so here's that same thing right here, right? You could see over here volume drops off, over here volume drops off, and then this is where I'm sort of seeing this final candle that's going to leave about some room for downside. And you saw, three straight days of selling right here, a very strong selling on the second day, and then the third day was really a absorption and a reversal candle for the follow-up, bullish engulfing, right? So I was seeing very similar characteristics in this movement that I saw in this one, and it would be unwise for me not to take that into account when I'm looking at the same thing, especially when we're tapped out on the RSI on the daily right here, very into overbought, and even over here into overbought in the 4-hour, right? So what I'm trying to say is, you don't have to follow exactly what I'm doing. You now have enough knowledge to be able to, stay in trades or pull the trigger in trades by yourself. And remember what I said, that we don't start off at the same starting line. Some of you may not take all the trades that I'm in. Some of you may sell at different points, buy at different points. Some of you may not have taken all the trades that I've been taking since the beginning of the year. So you might be either a lot higher or you might be a lot lower than I am in terms of capital gained, right? Or percentage gained over the year. So the point is that I want you guys to be able to make your own decisions, and you don't have to follow exactly what I'm doing. But just know that when I'm doing something, it's not just kind of pulling it out of my butt. It has some technicals behind it. And I was just sort of thinking about it yesterday, why this person in community discussion got so offended when I decided to sell my Litecoin. It's not even that I told him to sell, this person right here. I sold my Litecoin yesterday at a small loss, right over here. I sold it yesterday at a 3.5% loss, and I was okay with that because I'd made so much profit over the past couple of weeks. It didn't really even matter to me, because ultimately what I really want is just a peace of mind, knowing that my capital is not at risk, and that is far more beneficial and greater than thinking that I can make more money. Peace of mind and having the time to do whatever you want is ultimately the greatest part of being financially free. There's no point of having more money and financial freedom if you can't do anything with your time and you're stressed out all the time. Okay, so anyway, I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. And I know a lot of you have been in this community for a long time and you trust me, and you know that I do what I do to be able to, ultimately grow my capital. So thank you so much, for always being loyal and supportive. All right, let's get back to the analysis. So with this bull flag right here, right, this is still playing out, okay? So everything that I've said can also be true while this is also true in terms of technicals. It really just comes down to what are the probabilities of each one coming true, or one scenario coming true over the other, okay? So here's the thing, okay? Definitely this bull flag is broken out. Definitely our target then becomes this, where'd it go? This area right here, okay? Our target becomes that 13,000 area right here, okay? You can see right here, it's a $2,000 flagpole even with this one, and that creates our target to be 13,000 up here, okay? So that's definitely a possibility, all right? I get that. Now, what I do see, at least on the 4-hour time frames, is that we are, getting into that overbought territory. We are coming up into the daily overbought territory right here, very heavily, all right? But I do see that we may have another push, at least a very little push in us, all the way into maybe 11.8, which was ultimately our target over here, right? Let me pull this back on the weekly. I stated that the high is right around 11,600 or 11,800 depending on these wicks, and then I could go as high as 13,000, okay? And then potentially prices could pull back, okay? Because as much as I believe that BTC is on a huge run, I also do agree that rarely has any asset in my experience or my life ever sort of recovered from a bull market, or I'm sorry, a bear market with this parabolic movement, not had any significant retraces, right? I mean, nothing notable. I mean, over here, this was like a 10% retrace. Over here, this was a 18% retrace, and then it just kept on climbing up. It didn't slow down. It didn't pull back on a weekly or a couple of weekly candles. It's just rocketing up. Now, with that being said, I also know that Bitcoin is unlike any other asset class that we've ever seen. So I keep that in mind as well, and I make sure that not all technicals from history have to apply, but I also know that it's almost impossible for human psychology or proper profit taking or previous resistance levels to turn into supports in terms of technicals to not hold true. That's just impossible. That none of the rules from technicals or market psychology apply to Bitcoin. So that's why I'm now more cautious than ever right around this top range, okay? We've made enough profits all the way up here. We're getting to the sort of final leg, right near this 11.7 all the way to 13K area. And this is where, things are going to get really interesting because there's going to be a lot of profit taking. I think there might be a lot of FOMO from retailers, and I don't want to be too heavy into positions. Okay, I actually just opened up a small position of 10% on BTC. My average is right around, where'd it go? Oh, right here, 11,400. Okay, prices of BTC are currently at 11,325. They dipped just a little bit, but again, you're going to have to sort of start looking at what exactly is happening on larger time frames in terms of technicals to be able to understand if prices are going to keep on going further up or they're going to dip down further. Okay, I'm personally leaning to the fact that they might go just a bit higher, and then we're going to need at least a sizable correction on the way down. Even in the BTC, or I'm sorry, the CME, gaps, right, which have been overwhelmingly filled every single time. Let's see where this chart is. Man, I can never remember where my charts are. Okay, here we go. Every time, there's been a gap historically in the CME market, for Bitcoin, it's been filled, right? You can see filled, over here filled, over here filled, over here was filled. This one is unfilled, this one is unfilled, okay? So from here down, say for, for example, tomorrow itself or today itself, we fall straight down. You can see all the way down, if we fall to cover both these gaps, that'd be a 26% drop. This would probably be the most notable drop and something that we might need that we haven't been using for a long time, okay? Filling these gaps as well as, a necessary 30% pullback or close to 30% pullback, right? So that might be something that you want to keep in mind. And this is one of the reasons why I'm not so heavy into BTC right now, okay? I did state that, we were in this sort of final leg right here. Let me see where that is. I think it's over here. Okay, there we go. So we were in this final leg right here where, there's a consolidation, movement up, sideways consolidation, movement up. All right, and then another gold box of consolidation, movement up, sideways consolidation right here, and another movement up. So you can see we're coming very, very close to the end of this final, top right here. And then there will be some consolidation in this area. And this consolidation could potentially take us, back to this previous resistance right here around 8,800 or a bit lower, okay, with a sharp wick down. So do keep this in mind, folks. I've been looking at this chart, very frequently because this is a very sort of, eerily similar movement that I'm seeing. So it's always important to keep in mind fractals like this because, the thing is, the crypto space is run by so many different bots and algorithms. It's no surprise that the movements look similar, okay? So it's always important to sort of gauge and spot movements like this because it'll ultimately help you in the long run, okay? And with that being said, I still have my bear versus bull case right here, okay? If you want to go check it out on Cryptosomniac Trading View, it's right here where I state that, people talk about this being the B wave top. And yes, I am well aware of that, folks. I am well aware of the fact that this could be a B wave and the C wave could take us down to anywhere between 2,000 and like 1,200 or something. But the chances of that are, in my opinion, fairly slim, but it is possible, okay? And that's why you don't see me, trading with 100% cash. If I was so confident that we're going to 20,000, I'd just be fully invested in every single trade. I wouldn't take profits. I just ride all the way up. But the point of trading is that you don't know, okay? It's all about probabilities, and the probabilities told me that we're looking a little bit, top heavy right now. So at some point, I do expect a pullback. You can't have so many green candles in a row without any, retrace, okay? So this is why I'm a bit cautious, all right? Let's check out our other trades. Ethereum is my medium-term trade that I'm still looking at. Let's see how that bad boy is doing. Ether we got in 240 and then LTC 128. Okay, so 240 to 312 or so. Let's see where that is. Up a good chunk right now. Yeah, actually a good 30% right now. That's pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna have to update this gain right there. 12.5% in medium term for LTC. Entry at 128. Let's see how LTC is doing. There we go. Okay, LTC. So here's the thing about LTC, okay? Even though the past few days, even right now, as you can see, BTC, as it moves up on this daily chart, right? LTC has actually been pulling back because it was driven up so much over the past, few days or few weeks rather. So it needs to cool down a lot more. And you could see LTC is taking a bit of a beating, right? I stated many times that I expect the bottom of this channel to touch at some point for LTC, okay? If somehow, prices start closing above this area right here, 142 to 144, then I guess it's possible that, you know, prices could sort of go like this. But for now, you can see it's really just rounding off like this. All it's really doing is just going like that. All right. It wants to touch back to its support. You know, it's like a baby coming back to its mom for support, and, you know, finding support, and then, you know, feeling the strength to move back and go out and venture into the world for higher highs, right? It's a weird analogy, but I think it makes sense for me. But anyway, so with LTC, I still do believe that at some point it might hit the bottom of this channel, and then that might be a more technically sound trade to be able to take it to the top of the channel. Okay. All right. Let's see how XRP is doing. I know a lot of people are still talking about XRP. Let's see. Yeah, I would say this part right here is the most scary part. Again, way back here since March, I've been telling people that you need to get rid of XRP. Again, not investment advice, but I've been telling you from back here. Okay. If you would have sort of gotten rid of this and stuck in BTC or even cash, you would have saved this entire, you know, downtrend movement. All right. You know, that's why sort of it's important to be able to understand technicals, guys, because everyone has this idea of, you know, hoping that things are going to work out and hoping and praying that this level is going to hold or this level is going to hold. But the most success is actually found in not wanting to see what the chart is showing you, but rather what it is showing you. And you will find the most amount of success when you start realizing that. It's really the trick of the game. You know, trapping people into thinking and hoping is really the trick that the devil has played in the crypto or trading markets, in the financial markets. Everyone has, you know, hope that their, you know, prices of whatever they're holding will at some point come back up, or, you know, buying at the highs means that they're going to, you know, make easy money with higher highs, but really, like, they don't pay attention. Everything is on this, right? Everything that you want to see is laid out like a footprint on a chart, but people just don't pay attention properly. With that being said, XRP looks very brutal. This is like a, you know, quad touch right here. 1, 2, 3, 4 touches at critical support. This is probably going to break. And as I've said many times, the others.d chart, let's see, here's that line chart right here that I've showed. Oh wait, no, 3-day chart. There we go. Altcoin graveyard. This is where it's already heading, guys, as you can see. Okay, so this is where we're going to see a reckoning of all the major, you know, or not major, rather, like the random, you know, crypto coins or altcoins, shit coins, whatever you want to call it, go to their graveyard in terms of BTC or Satoshi value. Okay, and they're going to be forced to jump back into BTC, right? And I think the ultimate reckoning will come when not only these shit coins jump into BTC, but then BTC eventually pulls back too. Okay, and at some point it's going to have to, right? Even just a little bit. Not saying that it has to go down all the way to 5,000 or 6,000, but at some point a retrace will be healthy for Bitcoin. Okay, and when that retrace happens, what do you think is going to happen to this altcoin graveyard? I think it's going to go, you know, probably even deeper. Like, it's just going to keep going down. Okay, this is where you might see the capitulation of the altcoin space. All right. I think that's it. I just wanted to give you sort of a, you know, brief of exactly what I'm thinking, you know, where we're looking at in terms of prices. Again, I am largely in cash, 90% on my short-term trading account. On my medium-term trading account, I have a 12.5% LTC position, 5% Ethereum. My medium-term and my long-term account right here are capital-wise a bit larger, so that's why I'm a little bit more careful on how much I trade out of those. But also, if you haven't seen, folks, here's my actual allocation to all my alts. I went through all my ledgers, all my soft wallets, to give you guys a comprehensive breakdown so you can see exactly, what I'm trading, what I'm in, and how much percentage I hold, and then how much I'm in cash between my medium and long account. Okay, so I just want to give you all the visibility that I can. All right, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching, folks, and always appreciate the support and love. Please do ask questions whenever you want to. I am always available for the Cryptosomniac Advantage members. All right, take care. Cheers. Happy Tuesday.